NASCAR Racing 2003 season includes most of the rules and procedures found in the NASCAR rulebook, and there are quite a few of them. A lot of NASCAR fans aren't familiar with many of the rules simply because a good portion of them are in effect only under yellow flag conditions, when the TV networks usually take a commercial break. Strapped into the cockpit, the rules are very important. They provide a safe and fair environment in which to race. This lesson will take you through the NASCAR rulebook step by step. Now that you're familiar with the flags, it's time to go over the rules and the penalties for failing to obey them. Not all of the rules are enforced at all times. Arcade mode has a relaxed set of rules, and even in simulation mode, most of the rules are disabled in the practice and happy hour sessions. If you break one of the rules during either of those sessions, your crew chief will still let you know about it, but at least you won't have to suffer the consequences the way you would during qualifying or during the race. You have to observe the pit road speed limit. This is probably the most common penalty in the game, and is easily avoided. First, you need to know the pit road speed limit. When you exit your pit stall, your crew chief will tell you the RPM you need to stay under in order to avoid breaking the speed limit. Remember, that value is based on second gear, not first. Second, when you're exiting the pits, wait for your spotter to say, "Okay, you're clear of pit road," before you start to accelerate. Third, and most importantly, you need to practice those pit stops and make sure you give yourself enough time to get down to the speed limit when you exit the racing surface and come down onto pit road. The penalty for speeding in the pits changed during the 2002 season. Now, if you're under green flag conditions and speed in the pits, you'll be black flagged and forced to make what's called a drive-through penalty. To clear the black flag, you'll have to come all the way around the track and drive down pit road again, obeying the speed limit, of course. You can't receive service during the drive-through, and if you break the speed limit during the drive-through, you'll have to serve a stop-and-go penalty. If you speed in the pits under yellow flag conditions, you won't be black flagged, but you'll have to go to the end of the longer pacing line. When exiting the pits, you must merge at the proper time. When you exit the pits, you can't immediately pull back into race traffic. Instead, you must stay down on the track's apron, or as far from the racing surface as possible, and below the blend line until you hear your spotter say, "Okay, merge when you can." Each track has a different merge point, but for the most part, you'll have to wait until the back straight before being allowed to merge. There's a little bit of leeway built into this rule. If you attempt to merge early, you'll hear your spotter say, "Don't merge yet." You'll be given a split second to bring the car back to a legal position. Failure to do so will trigger the penalty. If you break this rule under green flag conditions, you'll be black flagged and you'll have to serve a stop-and-go penalty. Under yellow flag conditions, you won't be black flagged, but your penalty will be to go to the end of the longer pacing line. When you enter the pits, you need to do it properly. Basically, the rule was designed to prevent cars from coming into the pits from the side in an attempt to spend as little time as possible on the speed-limited area of pit road. If you're not sure of the proper procedure for entering the pits, just start a practice session and watch one of the computer-controlled cars do it. Homestead is the only track in the game that requires the use of a special access road in order to pit legally. If you break this rule, you'll be black flagged and you'll have to come in and serve a stop-and-go penalty. You can't enter the pits when they're closed. This one's simple enough. You have to wait until the pits are open and you're eligible to pit before you can make a pit stop. This rule applies under yellow flag conditions only. When the yellow comes out, the pits close. If you're near the pits when it happens, you'll see the pit flagger display a red flag. The pits remain closed until the pace car comes around and passes the pit entrance. At that point, cars that are on the lead lap may come in and pit. All other cars must wait until the following lap, at which point the pits will be open for all cars. If you're already on pit road when the yellow flag comes out, you won't be penalized for entering a closed pit. If you break this rule, you won't be black flagged, but you'll be sent to the end of the longer pacing line. You can't pass the stop-go man. This is another simple one, and it also applies only in races with yellow flags. The stop-go man is a NASCAR official positioned at the end of pit road. He is responsible for making sure that cars exiting the pits do not interfere with the line of cars pacing around the track. The majority of the time, he'll be displaying a go signal, which means that you're free to exit the pits normally. However, when the pacing line gets close to the pit exit, the stop-go man will display the stop signal. When this happens, cars exiting the pits cannot pass the stop-go man. They must wait until the pacing line passes the pit exit and the stop-go man switches to the go signal before being allowed to exit pit road. Breaking this rule will not result in a black flag, but you'll be sent to the end of the longer pacing line.